When you're researching, it's really important to have a nice collection of articles in one place. What it allows you to do is select a particular article, go to Word, and apply it while writing. However, I find that while writing, it's actually quite tricky to do a whole lot of research using those articles especially. So in my honest opinion, where Endnote allows you to organize a whole lot of articles, ReadCube can do the same thing. So I mainly use Endnote to actually introduce the references into Word in the correct format. The rest of my work is done using a program called ReadCube. Let's have a look at that. So it's free unless you want the cloud version of ReadCube, which allows you to look at any article you have synced either on your iPad or on your phone, I guess, or tablet in general. This is ReadCube. When you open it up, what it will do is bring in any articles that you've already got on your computer in a folder that you've selected and organize them for you in its library. It allows you to put those articles into different lists which you make. But before you get to that stage, what you need to do is go to this preferences setting down here, that little cog. Click it. Now you're a student in Flinders University, so you go to Institute Affiliation, select your university institution, use the proxy, and that's about it. The rest of it you can just have a play with whatever you like. Now this is ReadCube. Its most important function is up here in the search tab. You can either search your library as you would in your folder, or in this case you can use one of these two, Google Scholar and PubMed. Between those two you'll find most articles. So let's look at the most basic function of ReadCube. Let's go searching Google Scholar. The first main thing is that this technically replaces you searching for articles through the main database of Flinders. So instead of having to do this and going to the database of Flinders through the library and then clicking on a particular database and then searching for an article, let's say it was, and another one, and then going to that article and then hitting view, saving it, exporting all the information to Endnote and then using it and having to keep a whole folder organized. ReadCube replaces this whole process. So let's go back to ReadCube. Go to Google Scholar and hit enter. It'll show that it's loading, which means that it's currently running. Then what it'll do is it'll bring up a particular article. Now I've already seen this before, so my green dot is gone, but that green dot means this article is completely unread. Like that. So if I then actually click on that article, it'll bring up some basic information for me. Then I hit download from web. Now, in some cases this works, in some cases it doesn't. If it has to bring up this page, that means it may be working, it may not. So you want to go click to access through the Flinders proxy. Now the view PDF is still there. When you hit that, ReadCube can pick up on the fact that you're looking at a PDF and auto enter it into your ReadCube account, which is effectively on your computer. It then allows you to read that article. So if you go down here and click on read, it brings up the whole article, which is really neat. You can then highlight certain sections with certain colors. You can introduce comments, and those comments will actually come up later, but we'll talk about those sorts of details at another point. Now let's say that we want to look up a second article, and we want to use both of them to look up other articles which are similar. See, if I move my mouse to the left here, it brings back that left tab. Any articles I've got open are kept open at the bottom here. Now let's say I need to close my computer down really quickly. So everything gets shut down. ReadCube fully closed. If I now click on ReadCube again, and it starts up, that article is still open at the bottom. So I can continue reading it at a later point. Now, this left tab is broken into a number of sections. This is the Search tab, the Recommendations tab, the Library tab, and the articles that you've got open. All of these other things that I've got are different lists that I've created. Now we're going to use one of them. So if I hit Create a List, and I say that this one's going to be about weather, I create that list. Where did that list go? As you'd expect, it's just here. Now if I look in there, there are no articles added yet. If I go back to my library, there's that orange juice article. So I'll go down here and put it into that smaller section. I've now got one article added. Now let's say that I'm really interested in finding out something else. I go back to search, and mind you, after closing ReadCube, the search that we did before did go away, so you have to redo that. But let's say I'm looking up something else, this time weather and something global. But once that's come up, my gosh, there's 2 million searches. Let's make it more specific. To change this, if you just click here and hit backspace or delete, it'll get rid of the whole search from what I know. If you hit after it and then hit backspace, you can refine the search. Weather, global, let's say 2014. We've now cut down the searches. And let's say we want to say Australia. If you want a separate search term, you can also do it this way. Now we're down to 70,000. Let's say I'm really interested in this article right here. I've never read it before, but this is the article. If I want to have a read of the abstract, I can hit web. That'll take me to the abstract. I know that it's been cited a number of times, so it must be okay. That doesn't mean it's definite. Always keep a keen eye. Hit download from web. Oh, this one doesn't want to download. If it's a Wiley library, Flinders has difficulties downloading those. What happens is you'll hit it, get PDF, and in most cases, well, in this case it worked, sort of. In some cases you just have to pay for the article, we don't have access. In this case it brought up the article, but there we go, and ReadCube recognized it. I can then hit read, and there it is. Let's go back to that search. That was the article. Now I know that I've already got it added, so I just grab it and put it in weather. Now I've got two of them. How do I do a search based on those two articles? I go to recommendations. I then go entire library. No, I'm interested in weather, so I select that particular list I made, and then I say in what sort of time frame. Well, it looks like it can't find anything too similar, which is kind of a pity. I'm not quite sure why. It should have done. Let's go back. Maybe the search is just too specific. Let's add a few more articles. Say I didn't want to read these, but they kind of looked similar to what I was looking for. I can just throw them straight in there. Yep, that one too. Yep, that one. That one. Oh, this one looks like a corker. I've got all of these articles. That recommendations list can use all of these to find other articles which are similar. Okay. Weather. Published anytime. Well, that's unfortunate. Let's use something else. Here we go. something that I'm actually currently working on. It's loading it, it's thinking about it, and here we go. It's found me more articles which are something similar to what I'm already looking for and what's already in this biosensors list. And then I can start looking at those articles. In most cases, a list will come up with articles, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. Maybe if I just get rid of this one, remove from list, and go back. No, something funny going on there. Alright, let's say I've now found the articles that I'm looking for, and one of them was that orange juice one. I can read it, and I want to use it in my document in Word. I know that there's something to do with weather. How do I introduce this article into this reference list? The easiest way, in my opinion, is to go and read it, and then hit the settings button here, that cog, and export to Endnote. It then adds it to my Endnote. I've already got the correct referencing style in, and then what I know is that I can go roll Richard or orange juice or whatever. These are all search terms which I can then use. So I then go here and introduce it. There he is, and I would insert it. Let's say I've now found in Endnote that there is a whole lot of these different orange juice articles. Imagine there were 5 or 6 of them, and I wanted to use this particular one, and they were all in the same year by the same author. If I click on a certain article and then back here in Word, instead under Endnote, click Insert Citation, down the bottom there, insert the selected item. It thinks about it and it's added it in for me in the correct place. This is how ReadCube works. Okay, I'm not interested in that article anymore. Thank you. Go back to my search, right there. And you can have multiple different searches. Now let's say that I was interested in red cows. I can still come back to this search, and this one's there as well. And that is the basics of ReadCube. You can create lists depending on what you're looking at, different research fields, different articles that you're interested in putting together. It's all there for you, and you can use it that way. The other important thing to note is that under your library, you can order everything. So you can order by year, date added, title, and ascending or descending. Okay. I'm not interested in any of these articles. I'm going to delete them. Okay. When I do that, that doesn't affect Endnote, and that certainly doesn't affect this. So at any point, you can still continue using those articles. So that is how ReadCube works to its best. Okay.